Well, if you need a reason to collect physical media, like we've
Yeah, so to sum that up there, it's Sony's agreement with Discovery has ended, so they're going to be losing content, which means you're losing your content. And um, he says in there that he thinks that this is going to be the return of physical media, and I would like that to happen. I would like that to be a thing. Um, but I don't think it's going to happen. Too many people are used to the way things are now with streaming services that they're just going to keep ponying up the money. Um, what can you do about this? Urge your family members, friends, anybody that doesn't know that buys streaming content that they should still be buying physical copies. With the combination of Best Buy no longer selling physical media coming up, and with streaming services increasing prices and the like, the message is not going to go clearly across that we the consumers do not like this, because too many people are just kind of asleep to this, and they're tired. I've explained it before, there's kind of a fatigue the consumers have at the end of the day after working all the time. They just want convenience. But help them remember how convenient it is just to be able to grab a movie off the shelf and not have to go hunt on the internet for which streaming platform has the movie you want to watch, or to find out the movie you want to watch isn't available anymore because nobody has rights to it. That's happened too many times for me. So I am working on rebuilding my physical library. I, at the beginning, had decided that I didn't want to have the clutter of a physical library, and was pretty sure at the time that streaming was going to be pretty decent. I should have known better. This was years and years ago. This is at the infancy of streaming, though, when everything was just available, because there was a beautiful time when everything was available pretty much on Netflix. Like, there were very few things that were not available, and then we saw agreements go back and forth where providers decided we're not going to put our content there anymore. Then there was the cannibalization of cable channels. So it used to be you could buy streaming packages that had everything you wanted, and there still are some that exist. I still will use streaming at this point because it's not overly more expensive than cable, but I am slowly rebuilding my media library. It is difficult. If you want to know resources where to get used media, and I do say used, don't buy brand new if you can avoid it right now. Buy up used content. It's going to be cheaper for you to rebuild your library. And I'm going to put this in here again. Discrot is a thing, so try to get Blu-rays of copies if you can. If all you can get is DVDs, please look up how to properly store and care for your DVDs. But keep in mind that DVDs do have a shelf life that is fairly short compared to Blu-ray. DVDs, I think, was 25 to 50 years, with the median being about 20. I know that sounds weird, but that's what they found with the discs, because the plastic used was a lesser plastic, and so disc rot is something that can happen. And heat kind of accelerates that process. So look into disc rot if you haven't seen it. Your CDs are safe. It's mainly the DVD films because they produce those so cheaply. Also, the other reason I'm an advocate for Blu-ray over DVD is the quality. While I don't need 4K for all my content, Blu-rays are going to give you more of a true 1080, whereas DVDs are a 720 in most cases with an upscale to 1080. If you don't know what that means, basically it's that the DVD player, the technology is increasing the picture resolution, but if you have a newer TV, you're going to notice pixelization, and that can be quite annoying. So try to get Blu-rays if you can. By doing that and then not paying for streaming services, you will be making a dent. So in order for people to be able to cut out streaming services, they're going to have to physically own the media. And, $20 to me was always a fair price for movies if I really had to have it new. Otherwise, I waited till it went on discount, until it got cheaper. The message has got to be sent, though. And this isn't the first time this has happened. Sony is not the first person to do this. This happened, and I forget what provider it was, but this happened with Amazon, where people had bought content. I want to say it was Warner Brothers. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it started with a W, so it could have been like any of the others in there, but they did the same thing. You bought the content. You digitally bought it, but you don't have it anymore. And you have to remember, in that fine print, you're leasing that media. You don't own it. You're purchasing a license to rent on an extended period. And if you're a person that doesn't understand technology, you need to understand that. You've been fooled. You've been duped. You're purchasing a rental license for yourself. That's it. You don't get to transfer the movie. You don't get to keep it. They explicitly tell you they can and will remove it from your library as they deem fit. And it's important to know that the reason that studios don't like Blu-ray and DVD sales, physical media sales, is because it's a one-time purchase you make. That's it. Once they've moved over to digital, if you bought a movie for $2-3, even though it seems cheaper at the time, sometimes it's more too. Even if you buy that movie, like Amazon has some for $14, if they decide you can't have it anymore and they're revoking that license, they'll happily get it back later on and turn around and charge you the $14 again. So this infinite profit that capitalism wants or tries to have, this is another form of that. They're going to keep charging you over and over again for the same movie. If you get a better TV and technology gets better and there's a new experience for that film, as we've seen with standard definition and HD, they will charge you a different price for that, even though it's a minuscule cost for them to host that on a streaming platform. So please urge everybody you can to buy physical media. Please go to places like eBay, Amazon, buy used media, buy it up, keep it, have it in your library, don't get rid of it. If you have the capability, you should be trying to make backups, and I use this verbiage very carefully because this is legitimately, if you have a physical copy, you're allowed to have one digital backup. That was what the law has been for the longest time. Same with music. If you know how and you have the storage capabilities and the know-how, back up your movies digitally in case something happens to them, so you have that backup. You can't share those out, you're not supposed to, and I'm not condoning any high seas activities, but definitely try to have a media library in some shape or form if you can.